Okay. Good morning, everybody. You know who I am by now, so I don't need to do any sort of introduction or anything. But I wanted to make this just so I could kind of talk a little bit about what I'm doing. And really, I'm just kind of missing people hearing my voice, as annoying as it might be. Um, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what I'm doing here in Austria, and I wanted to show a treat for you guys as well because I'm cool like that, and I've got some treats and stuff that we don't have in the States that you will probably enjoy, at least looking at and say, why don't we have these here? So. Um, so what I'm doing here is I am a Fremdsprachassistent, which is German for foreign language assistant. What that means is I am basically going into classrooms and I am being a natural English speaker. It's like if we brought in a Spaniard for Spanish classes, or a German for German classes, or native Chinese speakers for Chinese classes. These kids, though, have been learning English for a lot longer. They start learning English when they're in what we would call fifth grade. Um, Here they call it the first form. And then you go all the way from first form through eighth form again, and then you end up graduating. So that's kind of how it works there. Um, excuse me. The biggest difference is that there are three different school paths that you can take. You can either go to some sort of vocational school after you graduate from fourth grade, and then go through first form, second form, third form, etc., all the way up through eighth form, um, in what they call a Realschule, or a HTL, which is where I'm teaching at, which stands for Höhere Technische Bundes Lehreranstalt. Anstalt, not Anstalt. Bad me. But I'm teaching at one of those, and it's a technical school for a lot of younger kids. They're learning mostly about like electricity work, plastic machinery manipulation, and working with that sort of stuff. Stuff that I don't really know all that much about, to be honest. I don't pretend to. But it's definitely cool stuff anyway, and they're interested in what I'm talking about. I've done a couple of other classes on U.S. diversity, where I've taken census numbers and asked the kids, "Do you think Austria has this kind of, do they have this kind of diversity that we have in the States? Do you think that there's more? Do you think there's less?" Stuff like that. I also have a presentation on marching band of all things. Those of you that know me know that me and marching band are sort of like oil and water. We're just going like, oh, stay away. But I think it's important that the kids actually see this part of, American culture, because they don't actually have sports or anything at their schools. They have after school clubs and all that stuff. So, with that being said, giving them a glimpse of, high school marching band, collegiate marching band, drum corps, that sort of stuff. It kind of gives them an idea of what I grew up with and what I'm going to end up doing in the workplace. Because let's face it, when I come back to the States, I'm going to be getting a music job. Hooray! That's what I went to school for. So I will end up getting involved with it. um, the other thing that I'm doing is I'm also at what they call a gymnasium, which is essentially what we would consider college prep high school. Um, and I alternate between the HTL, the Höhere Technische Lehranstalt, and the Realgymnasium, the Bundesrealgymnasium, the BRG. Um, excuse me, jeez. Um, but I'm going between the two every other week. So this week I'm at the HTL, and then next week I'm going back to the BRG. Um, and I'm doing speeches and get to know me's, and the kids are really enjoying the fact, and they're really asking some questions. They're really asking a lot of more than superficial questions, like, what's it like in the United States, and what's it like living in Chicago and all that stuff. I mean, they're interested in that, but it goes more than just a very superficial surface level interest. Depending on, the kind of kids that I'm dealing with. Usually older kids are asking me about, oh, what do I think of Donald Trump? Do you own any guns? Do you own any firearms? Because everybody in America has a gun, that sort of thing. Um, so it's interesting to say the very least. Um, Other than that, I mean, I'm here just to take a look at the culture and take a look and experience Austria for what it is, because not a lot of people really know or care much about it. And I came here 3 years ago and I loved it. And I was looking for an excuse to come back, and I'm here. So hooray! um, the biggest thing, though, I have to say, is that all of the people here are extremely friendly. They know that I'm a foreigner, but they're very impressed and very grateful that I try and speak their language as much as blah, blah. I can't even speak English. That I speak their language as much as possible when it's applicable. They don't want me speaking German in the classrooms because I'm here to speak English. So, um, but it's a definitely a far cry from what I thought I was going to be doing after school. But it's definitely something that I wouldn't give up for the world, because who else is going to have this opportunity? Who else from my university, my brother's universities? Who is going to come up from there, and who's going to do that? Um, so yeah, this is pretty awesome, and I'm honored to be out here and doing this. It's really freaking awesome. I keep looking at my hair and it's like, I need to shower. I just woke up. It's about 9:30 in the morning. I woke up about 20 minutes ago. So I have today off. So one thing I did want to show off. I've got a little package here of pastries. So I have to say, these things right here, I don't know if you can read them, but they are called Punschkrapfen. Krapfen are donuts, really. They're pastries, usually filled with something. So Punschkrapfen, I had one of these last night because I'm like, I need to have one. But what these things are, they're giant pastries essentially. I'm gonna open one up so you can come take a better look at it. Yes, it looks like a giant pink cube like that. These things also have alcohol in them. You can kind of see in the camera, there's some white, and then there's this giant darker part, and then there's another whiter part. You take a bite out of this, it tastes like tropical fruit punch. That's what it does. So I'm going to take a bite just to show you. Yeah, and this is what it looks like on the inside. There's white cake, dark cake, white cake. Some of these actually include alcohol, some sort of punch in there. Um, this particular kind does. So hooray! I'm getting drunk off of pastries. Not at 9:30 in the morning. It's not that much, in all honesty. Um, and even then, you'd have to eat a lot of them, and you get fat before you get drunk. But yeah, these are Punschkrapfen. We don't have these in the States, at least not where I'm from. I'm kind of turning this off and eating it a little bit. I shouldn't do that. But that was my little treat for you guys. I mean, it tastes really good. So I have one of those occasionally, and I'm just like, this is awesome. So yeah, if you're interested, if you want me to talk a little bit more, please let me know. Um, It'll be, awesome if this becomes a recurring thing, but if not, then this is awesome. I just kind of got some thoughts off of my chest. And you guys get to hear from the horse's mouth um, what I do, and it's better for me to, tell you in person well, in person as much as I can, than, type it out on, messages and what have you. So, yeah, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate it, and I will see you later. Auf Wiedersehen.